Welcome to another podcast. Let's chat about life with me, Darren Keenan. Let's see. If you're listening to this on Spotify, check out my YouTube channel. If you're listening to this on YouTube, check out my Spotify. Links should hopefully be below if I remembered. So today is mainly talking about depression and how it made me homeless in 2007. It's now 2025, so it was can't believe almost 20 years ago. So I had a good job. I worked at Alton Towers in Staffordshire. I lived in Staffordshire as well, and let's just say I fell behind in bills, paying bills and stuff. What it was throughout the years before that, my life was slowly cracking up without me realising, and it got to the point where depression hit me like a solid brick wall, and I locked myself away. Wouldn't talk to anyone, wouldn't answer the door, wouldn't answer the phone, wouldn't go to work, lost the job. I didn't claim benefits because my mind was just in a stage of fright, flight or fright, that kind of stuff. And let's just say it felt like I'd fallen down a deep well that I couldn't climb out of. And no matter what happened, no matter who tried to help me, I couldn't get out to that well. So, it's a metaphor, of course, And I didn't seek help because my reality was completely different than the real world. My reality was just a bubble. Anything outside the bubble around me didn't exist. It didn't make sense. So I was evicted, and a few months after that, I found myself in Dover, where I've been living since, and I never ever want to go back to that stage of depression. It was the most scariest part of my life. There's things people should experience and things that people shouldn't experience. And life lessons life does throw things at you have to cope with, and you have to adapt your life to. But that is one thing no one should really go through. There's things in life, you can lose your job, get another job, blah, 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 blah. But when it comes to that kind of stuff, I had no control over this depression at all at the time. But now, in 2025, I look back on that as a massive learning curve. I can see now how it affected me. For years I was thinking, why did I let myself get into that depression? Why couldn't I climb out that well? Why couldn't I do this? Why couldn't I do that? I look back thinking that, but now it's like, no. It's one of the things where, unless you experience it, you're not going to understand it. You're not going to be able to, it's one of the things where you, as I keep saying, life lessons are quite straightforward. You can learn from it. But depression was a place like another world. It was alien. It was so alien to me. But through the years, I can see how it progressed to that point. I grew up with family. Bit by bit, they moved away, and I was on my own. Blah blah blah. And I don't know. It's crazy, but I've had a lot of therapy since then, and I want to get into that kind of stuff later on in the series. But I just want to say that the reason why I do these podcasts, the reason why I do YouTube videos talk about mental health, which I think more people should do, is to one day help someone and that could have helped me, kind of thing. This is where it gets confusing. I wish someone could have really helped me when I was going through it. So I want to be the person who could help someone. I mean, I'm not a GP, I'm not registered anything to help. All I can do is give my story, give my account of what happened to me. But if I could just put a message in someone's mind to click themselves out of stuff, or just to get themselves some help, then my job's done. But to me, I think the only way I would have learned from it was to educate myself. You know, if people come up to you, go and, oh, snap out of it, you go, no, you couldn't do that. If I'd have read about it, if I'd have pushed myself to read about depression, if I'd have gone to websites to research it, it would have helped me more than someone telling me, you know, like books or that kind of stuff. But in 2007, it was not so prominent. It was mental health was an issue, but it wasn't talked about much. People didn't talk about it. Now on YouTube, everywhere, including me, talk about it, you know. And I'm sure it's helped a lot of people, and I'm sure this podcast would help people in a way that they will go and seek help, go and see GPs or therapists, you know. That's the only way. Educate yourself about it, then go and see help, and yeah, and also with therapy, which I want to get into in a later series as well, is mind tools, how they've helped me, how that when I know anxiety triggers, I know how to deal with the triggers now. I can physically think through their moments and to work my way through them and to come out the other end happy and proud of myself. But before, it was tricky. Here's an example. Example is that I make a mistake at work and my anxiety kicks in. I lose 3 nights sleep nearly because I'm worried about the repercussions, worried about upsetting people, worried about losing my job, worried about that kind of stuff. When in fact the problem was solved within minutes, and I'd let myself, anxiety, kick me for 3 days. Now it's like, yeah, I make a mistake at work, I go, damn, I could have done that, and then within 10-20 minutes I'm okay and I carry on with my day and I don't lose any sleep. But that's because of mind tools. It's something I'll get into later in the series. I mean, if you've seen a therapist, you know what I mean. But there's a lot I want to talk about, a lot I want to delve into. And if anyone's got any questions, you can comment on these podcasts, whether on YouTube or on Spotify. Comment. Let me know what you want me to talk about. Let me know have I experienced such and such, you know. Just ask questions and I'll answer the best I can. I also want to interview people through the podcasts, audio or video, and just talk to people, get their stories. I know their stories might help other people, you know. I have an interview coming up in a few months' time, and I just want to get more people to speak out and to chat about these kind of things, you know. If one person listens and it helps them, it's amazing, you know what I mean? It's amazing. So I want this podcast to be about 10-ish minutes, 10 to 20 minutes long, kind of thing like that. I don't want it to be too long. You know, the interviews could be long, but I just don't want to bore you to death, kind of thing. But if you listen to this so far, it's something you're interested in, is something you want to know more about. So please follow and comment and let me know. And yeah, I think there's definitely a more positive side looking back to what I've been through with my mental health. Anyway, that's it really. That's it for this one. And I shall chat to you soon. It's going to be every Sunday for the time being. I want to do 2 or 3 a week, but at the moment, 1 a week at the moment. But yeah, anyway, let me know what you think, and I'll catch you in the next one.